Matt. So we'll have to see if Matt can chew through those units with that lower damage.
Now, you said it's a fringe benefit?
Yes.
I don't know if we have Dimitri, our local Frenchman, on the stream, but we would love to have you one day, Dimitri. Please join us. All right, let's go ahead and switch over back to the table cam. Let's see what's happening. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of stuff on the table. Now, there's an odd summoning circle in the middle there. I don't know exactly what's happening.
I think we're sacrificing a salon.
Oh, we're sacrificing a salon to the salon gods.
Yeah, destroying its undead is fine. I can use the extra caster. Bonus is casting 9.
Yeah, so our players have already set up terrain, and it looks like they're almost done deploying. Just going to go through terrain here real quick from top left to bottom right. Across the top, we have Sinister, Arcane, and another Sinister. The two in the middle are Damned. The two bottom left are Inspiring, and then we have another Damned in the bottom right. As well as Eli's another Coalesce benefit, the Primeval Domain. Spencer, you want to... All right, well, that means everything for Eli in his territory is mystical, and everything for Matt is damned.
Deadly.
Deadly. Apologies, deadly. It's basically the same thing. Probably won't do anything, but if it does do damage, hey, free damage.
All right. Apologies there. Yeah. Yes. Thank you for recognizing the FPS issue. I fixed it. It should be fixed now. It should be okay. You should be able to hopefully see that soon. Let's see if this works out. All right. So, and we've got a handshake now. Who's going to be taking that first turn? It looks like Eli's going to be taking that. Now, please bear with me, y'all. We're having some technical difficulties, like I mentioned earlier. So, we do have a nice little scoreboard set up. It's not ready. It is currently having some issues, but we're going to give you the play-by-play as we go through.
Yep. Seraphon, turn 1. Probably going to have a pretty lengthy hero phase here as he has to get through all of his casting.
All right, take a step, one on slant, start hero phase. All right, 2 command points.
Oh, did he?
See if I can force. One, and 5. Another 1. Just the 4 left 3. 4 command points. For my best action, I need monsters take over.
Eli is doing Monstrous Takeover. I'm not sure on which objective.
That's actually not how that works, Steven. So you pick a monster, and that monster has to be on objective.
Then I apologize.
It's okay. We're all learning together.
I'll try to get one on the zombie dragon. Yes. Okay.
Hero phase proper. Let's go ahead and we'll hit that drum phase over there.
Big surprise. Yeah, the Necromancer and
Ooh.
So Spencer, I do know this matchup in particular is going to be a bit of a slog for Soulblight Gravelords, just because of the damage mitigation and the number of mortal wounds that are going to be coming their way from the Seraphon.
That's right, Steven. Now, the thing is Soulblight, they play that long game. They play that attrition game very, very well. Mm-hmm. So what we saw here is the engine, or the Realm Shaper engine, zapping a piece of terrain. You roll a couple dice, depending on how many models are around. Boom. Easy damage. It's free real estate,
It's
Steven.
free real estate, Spencer.
yes. I can't combine that even if I was ranged, and I don't think I am.
Nope. D6 units. For 4 units.
Right?
We're at, how many we got? 5 on the board?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes.
5 on the board.
All but 1.
Cool. Then we'll go with the non-zombie units.
Checks out.
All right. Zombie dragon. Takes 3.
3.
Phase.
Yep, takes 3.
Okay. Blood minutes. Got 1.
And I believe this is Comet's Call coming out of Seraphon doing all the mortal wounds, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Necromancer gets 1. Where's it go? 3 up. Goes to the zombies. Who failed over?
Yep. And then Vampire. Take 2.
Alright.
Put a little 200.
200 foot roll. 6s. Okay.
Cool.
Yes, apologies if you're just not joining us. Matt is on the top of your screen playing Soulblight Gravelords. Eli is on the bottom playing Seraphon.
Okay. Next spell. It's also give myself +1 cast on my start phase.
Since it looks like we have a little bit of FPS drop back on that top down.
Yeah, I went ahead and I'm trying to fix that. I am going to be doing some research while we're going through this. So thanks for the heads up. We're doing what we can.
Yes, thank you. If y'all notice anything, please let us know. Like I said, we did get some new tech, and we are testing it.
We'll cast it. We'll funnel through the starters.
All right.
That's enough.
All right. Still out of range, right? So can't
You
do
can do
that.
it. Measure for the starters.
Oh, okay. So I can unbind from him.
Yes. That's why I wanted to be determined that front. If you're within 30, you can.
And am I over you?
Nope.
Nope. All right.
Just short.
I'll have to use somebody who doesn't have plus only cast. These two are in. She's out.
Okay.
So let's start with from over here. Looking for more than 9. I've got 8. I'm 9.
Okay.
Just going through Eli's hero phase right now. He's doing quite a few spells. Common Skull, Hand of Glory, etc.
Yeah, that's not very uncommon in Seraphon. So the Slan is casting 3 spells.
3 spells a turn.
3 spells a turn. You've got one coming from the Star Priest and another one coming from the Star Priest. You got 5 spells to worry about there.
Mm-hmm. And then he also has a few prayers from the actual Skink Priest himself. I'm not sure what he could do with that Skink Priest on turn 1.
Well, he's got heal, which is nice. But in addition to that, Steven, he has the Starstone staff. So on a 3-up, it's going to be run, shoot, charge for a Skink unit right around him.
Wow. I wonder which Skink unit that's going on.
If I had 30 guesses, I bet I could figure it out. All right, y'all. Y'all may have a little bit of a flicker as we go through trying to figure out this camera issue. So once we get that taken care of, I will let you hopefully see this thing.
We will put our serpent staffs out where they need to go. Skinks?
Eli putting out his Serpent Staffs now, not surprisingly, on the Skink units. And maybe one on Bastillodon as well.
Nope. Does not go off. And then the priest.
The run, shoot, and charge, right?
Yeah, and the plus 1 save.
Gotcha.
The prayer, that's not a prayer. And then
Ooh, Starstone Staff actually failed to go off. That's a little rough for turn 1.
you have no priest, so it's just less on something?
Probably.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, y'all. We're having those issues. Let me go ahead and take care of this. But you're going to be looking at Steven's beautiful face while I work through this wonderful issue here.
Eli foregoing one of his casts just to not risk that miscast. Doesn't really have any spells that he super needs to cast anymore, so he's just gonna not risk it at all.
I'd rather not try to miscast my plasma.
Boxcars? No. I missed nothing.
Eli going into his movement phase, deciding if he wants to move forward at all or if he wants to make Soulblight come to him, it looks like.
I'm so proud of that one being an easy fix.
Just for you, Harrison.
Because this is not magical.
Yeah, right? Yes, 10 plus 6.
Yep.
Also, just actually a shout out to Weird Knobs Harrison for letting us borrow his beautiful terrain, which you will be able to see again shortly, hopefully.
All right, I just sent Steven off on a little quest. Hopefully he can go ahead and get this camera back up for us. We do have another stream coming up after this at 6 o'clock Central Time, and that will hopefully give us some time in between games to round this out. Yeah. Good. Thank you, Steven. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and y'all are going to see. This back on. All right, there we go. We are back. Sorry about that, y'all. Hopefully you should see the top image. You should see Eli's head as well as Matt's army head. There we go. Sorry about that, Steven. I had him muted.
Yeah, he did. I was upset about it. Eli moving up to be just outside of 16 of most of Matt's army. Also using the Skinks and a couple of the Bastillodons to just screen out those Blood Knights coming in. Looks like we are experiencing another FPS drop, but we are getting it figured out, folks. Apologies.
All right. Hey, y'all, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a quick break while we try to get this sorted out. I'm going to put a temporary screen up. Hopefully we can get back here in just a few minutes. We'll see you shortly.
Oh, we're muted.
The cameras.
The
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I need more games.
Did you see that? We just got a new follow-up. Hey, thank you all very much for waiting and saying this. Eli, could you just look at this? Look at that frame rate. Look how beautiful that is. Alright, let's pray to the Lord, guys, that we don't have to deal with this again.
Excuse me, so thank you.
Alright, so we are just at the end of the hero phase, going into the movement phase.
I think we're done. We're done with this phase.
We're going to figure it out. We're playing catch up in our own game.
This is the best part of rolling 18 and the dots, which is double attack.
All right.
Which is
It's a lot of attack.
So we started blasting.
If I get it on screen, this is perfect. Never rolled. I rolled 17 3 times.
Wow, these Seraphon are the ones right now. It's absolutely correct. And yes, thank you for that heads up, Harrison. Yeah, you should not be able to hear everything. Hey, look at that. We got a 10 for the Cosmic Engine roll. Steven, what does that do?
10 for the Cosmic Engine roll, Spencer, if you'll give me one moment.
And if we could, we did have a request coming in from stream, from chat. Eli. Hey, Eli, in the future, if you could roll in our fancy little dice cam, that would be wonderful. If you can fit them all in there, yes. Do you need more dice? We have dice for you, sir.
So this is the bolt dice onto blood dice onto a.
Spencer, that 10 on the Engine of the Gods is, I believe you mentioned it earlier. It was every unit within 12 inches of a point on a 2-up, just D3 mortal wounds.
Oh, that's mean.
That is quite mean. It's Eli's entire game plan.
You know what else it does,
throwing
Steven?
out mortal wounds. What does it do?
24-inch range, target takes D3 mortal wounds.
Okay,
You pick which one you want. Dealer's choice there.
that's rough. I was also informed by Eli that he was staying just outside of 16 of the zombies because they have a 6-inch pile-in, and with the at the double command, they just move 10 inches. Eli continuously throwing his dice across the room.
Look at 3 rolls. Alright. And 7 saves at -1.
Yikes. Alright. All defensive keep me on 3s. Fail 2 of them, so that's
4 plus 3 mortals, so 7.
alright. 3, 5, 7. 6 are reroll 1s. Down here 1s reroll, 1, 2 blood knights. 1, 2. One carries over. Right here. Kaboom. How nice is that?
Eli shooting into one of those units of Blood Knights right now.
That's what we call a rude awakening for this one.
Mm-hmm.
This is still an awesome part for the blood dice.
That is nice.
Put it over your the edge of yours.
Over the edge of my base?
Yeah.
There you go.
Barely within range.
Alright.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Let's see what it does.
And I think we have a Bastillodon shooting into the zombie dragon
We're all attack.
with an all-out attack.
The 3s.
There we go.
Looking for 3s here.
Again. So that's going to be 3 at -1.
Of course. Fail them all.
That's 6 damage.
Got 6 damage. Ooh, 6 damage into that
6
zombie
damage
dragon.
onto the zombie dragon. Didn't save any of those with his. I believe it's a 6-up ward, Army 1.
Yep, that's right. And it's wholly within a certain range of heroes as well as the grave sites, which I don't think we were able to point out on the board.
Oh, we are not. I can ask Matt to go ahead and point out where his grave sites are.
Or a hero. He's a hero.
Yeah, but we need to know where the grave sites are,
Yeah,
man.
Matt, just
Perfect. Beautiful.
All
Um,
Also one right here.
There's one under the skinks, there's one more right here.
all right. Thank you very much. And yeah, he has summonable units that can come from those grave sites, and a lot of other effects just key off of those.
That's right.
Harrison, we all knew Eli, he's not taking the mantle of the bully. He always was a bully.
I mean, I think that's a little rude there, Steven. As a Seraphon player myself,
You're a bully too?
I have been known to bully. Now, we've got another 9 shots coming from a Bastiladon.
Another 9 shots coming from the other Bastiladon. Also into the zombie dragon, or no, he's measuring. It might actually go into the zombies.
With the zombies, yeah. So it may not be, but like, I would imagine it should be if they're on the same line. No.
Got a couple.
Just make sure I'm still outside. There. Yeah. Okay. So I got a couple. I think literally just like those three. So we'll say 6 attacks.
And Spencer, I don't know if we actually ever went over the battle plan for people who might not know. This is a hold 1, hold 2, hold more with 6 objectives on the battlefield, 3 roughly in the center of each player's territory.
Oh, thank you, Steven. We did not. We kind of got really interested into the lists that were coming up, and we just wanted to get right into it. Now, we did mention this is for the Slambo prep, so we do have a GT here in San Antonio coming up next weekend. Now, if we take a look in the Slambo pack, there's a special ability. Now, what does Slambo say, Steven?
Slambo.
You're not wrong. But in the pack, there's a little section called Slambo Says.
Slambo says, once per game, each player can ask for the favor, the mighty favor of Slambo, and reroll any roll, even for turn priority. You cannot reroll a dice more than once. If you're rerolling a d6 roll, you must reroll all of the dice for the roll. So if you're rerolling multiple dice, can't pick one, got to do all of them. There is a special rule for that, though. If prior to re-rolling, Spencer, you must yell at the top of your lungs, "Slambo." If you don't, the roll you just rolled is discarded, and your opponent just gets a command point.
Don't need to spend that command point for the zombies because they're going to be moving anyway. And I think that's end of turn. End of round. Or end of your turn, yes.
That is end of Seraphon turn 1.
And you have 3 for hold 1, hold 2. No, we have 2 for hold. I don't have hold 1. So not hold 2. So just 2. So total 4 for the round. Yep. 4.
Eli gonna score 4 points total for round 1. He holds 1, holds 2, and he got his battle tactic.
Got it. So I have 2 left. Going into my turn. Yep. All right. First thing, gain command point. Same. Second thing, throw a cover here before I forget.
Bottom of round 1, Soulblight Gravelords turn 1, obviously doing heroic recovery on that zombie dragon to heal some of that 6 damage that Eli put on it.
He put 11.
Oh, correction. He put 11 damage into the zombie dragon, turn 1.
Rally the Blood Knights and see if I can get a couple of these guys back.
Also rallying the Blood Knights. I believe do they rally on a 5-up?
That looks like 2 Blood Knights coming back there, Steven. Now, that's mean. Those are some mean Blood Knights. 3 wounds apiece, 6 wounds coming back on 2 dice. Easy. Nice.
I needed that break. We're back. Free movement. I get D3 zombies back because I'm right next to Necromancer. So I only lost 1. So I don't know why I rolled the dice right now. Like, I get a dude back.
Okay, we get command point on my engine gods. I do.
Gotcha.
Eli getting another command point on his Engine of the Gods, which is good because Seraphon notoriously command point hungry.
All right. So let's see.
And how many points did you get for that turn there, Eli?
He got 4 points. He holds 1, holds 2, does not hold more because they both hold 3 at this time, and he got his battle tactic.
Perfect. Now, Steven, if you look at your Twitch stream, you should see that we have some more information coming up on that score.
I got 3 spells, 3 I'm not, so let's just do them in whatever order.
I think we did miss the battle tactic for this turn for Soulblight.
Oh yeah, we can go ahead and ask the pit boss what the battle tactic for Soulblight Gravelords is.
Ferociously advancing.
Ferociously advancing, and it's probably going to be with the zombies and those 2 heroes that are just going to hang out within them and support them basically the entire game, that Vampire Lord on foot and the Necromancer.
Nope, it's not. Fails on 3. And the Vampire Lord on foot is going to cast Arcane Bolt. Sure.
I don't believe we actually changed the camera at all, Harrison. The corners might have just been cut off from the start.
Going into movement phase. Alright.
Soulblight Gravelords hero phase already over into movement.
You figure out how fast the dragon goes with 9 moves on it. The answer is not as fast as I want, but faster than you want.
Damn it. We have a lot of moves.
That zombie dragon is moving 10 inches with 9 wounds on it. He
Yeah, that heroic recovery is back to 10 inches. So he's going the same speed as the vampire or the blood knights in front of him. Do I actually want to commit it to you? I think I do, because you're going to shoot the next turn.
not sure what spells Matt cast in his hero phase. I don't think it's minions because that zombie dragon is moving 10 inches and not 16 inches.
Seeing as I'm not going to be able to group measure where that guy is anyway, we're just going to fall in behind. Roll the run. Do I need that with those command points elsewhere? You need 1 for all out defense and 1 for...
Moving those blood knights up on the right, supported by the zombie dragon.
Alright, total 8. Puts this unit right about here. When you're using this, this is where I need to go. Going for Vampire Lord on foot, 6 plus 3, so 9. Really what I'm worried about is I need to make sure that the vampire or the necromancer is there. And never mind, there's no way to figure this out.
Making sure he gets his battle tactic running with the 2-foot heroes and that big block of Dreadwalker zombies.
If she rolls a 1, I'll barely finish this thing.
Hey, we still finish it though.
I will. You roll This is why you measure your light runs. Yeah.
Rolling a 1 for the final piece of the puzzle for that ferocious advance. Just barely getting in there, but he will achieve his tactic for the turn.
Yeah, Steven, the amount of times that I've rolled 1s when I've needed 2s for a ferocious advance, too many to count.
Oh, more than once.
Or it is a non-zero number. You're absolutely correct, Steven.
Okay, so that'll take care of this movement. Let's go ahead and get some graveyard on the table.
Graveguard coming onto the table. We're gonna where he puts those down. He does still have another unit of Blood Knights. Oh,
And it's not a small unit of Blood Knights there, Steven. It's 10.
yeah, those can come in anywhere 6 inches more than 9 inches from enemy units.
That's right.
So I have to keep that in mind when moving. He has to screen out his backline. Blood Knights will be directly into his squishy support heroes. Coming in that side of the board.
Now, Steven, how many times have you danced with a skeleton in the pale moonlight?
More than once.
It's not a good amount, I'll tell you that much. 20 Graveguard, it's going to be rough.
Yeah, this is one of the units in Matt's. Not as survivable at everything else, but it does hit much harder.
Yeah, that's what we would call a shredder, Steven. Now, that thing is going to turn into a meat blender, and we may get some lizard sausage out of this. And it looks like we've got the count in our chat right here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 in Blood Knights. I
believe all of these Graveguard are armed with that great white blade.
Yes, that is true. And Steven, on that profile, do you know what it says there? It says hits really, really hard.
Yeah, that's 20 Graveguard. It's going to be 40 attacks, putting on 3, putting on 4s, minus 1 rend, and 2 damage, which will go down to 1 damage because of Eli's the fringe benefit we talked about earlier.
That's right.
The minus 1 damage, it is going to come into play here.
That French benefit.
Not amazing, but you know, I joke. It's actually incredibly good. You know, the gods there looking like it's out in the open, but Eli playing it safe and keeping it just at a range of those Dreadwalker zombies.
Now, Steven, what is that play there? What do you need to do?
For the Dreadwalker zombies?
Yeah, for the zombies.
They have a 6-inch pile-in. So if you add the double them, they can run to be within 6 inches of any unit. And during the fight phase, they just pile in 6 inches. To charge, coming at you.
It's mean.
Especially when there's 40 of them.
Yeah, 40 that will be returning. It's not like there's just 40 there. It's not like skinks.
Nope. Every battle shock phase for each one you lost on a 5-up, it's just coming back. Can't get rid of them.
Now, we do have someone heckling in our chat, and Harrison. He's talking about a game where I took it easy on him and decided not to use my scaly skin ability in Thunder Lizards. Now, I think that's just the gentlemanly thing to do every now and then.
It is, because knowing Harrison, he was probably playing spiders, trogs.
Frogs.
Oh,
Frogs. Saint Spencer is correct.
Bat rolling for all the deadly terrain from Eli's Coalesced benefit. It probably won't do any damage, but at the same time, if it does do any damage, I mean, free damage, might as well take it. Oh, looks like we actually did get a little bit of damage off the deadly terrain. Onto the Blood Knights on the side of the board. All right, it looks like there are some Blood Knights off to the right of the board. They are a little bit out of frame, but I promise you they are there. Oh, you just need need me to duck. It looks like I believe we're in the charge phase. Oh, the Blood Knights that are currently out of frame are coming into the skinks on the right side of the board, trying to take that objective off of Eli's to get that extra victory point from hold 1, hold 2, hold more. Since it's just a 10-man unit of skinks, I think that unit of Blood Knights has a pretty good chance. Daily Skin will not be saving them this time. They do have shields, Eli, but they are skinks. Apologies, Harrison. We are messing with our brand new mics as well. Matt electing to not charge with the other Blood Knights into that unit of 40 skinks. I think that unit of 40 skinks actually has Serpent Staff on it, so that's probably a good choice. Start of the combat phase. Only combat on the board. Those Blood Knights going into that tiny, tiny unit of skinks. Gaelic Skin actually not coming into play here either, as both of the attack profiles on the Blood Knights. Oh, my apologies. 2 damage on the charge for the Blood Knights, going back down to 1 damage is their base. And Eli did all-out defense, so he is on a 5-up save. See if that actually helps the unit of skinks weather the storm a little bit, or if they are dead. Spoiler, they're probably all dead. Depending on how many of these Blood Knights Matt can get into contact, this is upwards of 50, 60 attacks. Hitting on 3s and 4s.
All right, so we went ahead and we tested and we messed with some of the sound settings. So Harrison, if you could give me a trog up or a trog down to let me know if this is doing better. Also,
Spencer, I believe you're muted.
You would be incorrect, Steven. I have a fancy LED on my microphone that just happens to change color. It looks a lot cooler than yours. But do we have Harrison, calm down. This is a PG stream right now. Now, how does that table look? Can you see all of the corners? Are you missing anything? Are you missing any of the action?
All-out attack from the Blood Knights.
All right.
Matt spending his last command point to all-out attack into those skinks. Not sure he's going to need it, but at least now those skinks go from dead to super dead.
Super dead. That is my favorite superhero there, Steven. Best of the X-Men.
Yeah. He's also a Soulblight Gravelord.
We are having a request for Eli's smiling face. You know what? I bet we can get an after the game interview with Eli, and we'll figure out what we can. But that is an option. For those of you who did not know, we have another stream coming up here at 6 o'clock CST, and it's not going to be me sitting next to Steven looking good. It's going to be Eli. Eli's going to be here, and he's going to be chatting in your ear. And you're lucky. There's a caster button where he clicks that, boom, face full of Eli. It's a lot of dice.
Yeah, it looks like more than half of that skink unit eliminated with just the first profile, and there's 30 more attacks coming. Three of those skinks actually surviving through the Blood Knight attack. I am extremely surprised.
Steven, that's what a Scaly Skin's going to do. But you know what that really does? That allows that skink unit a chance to come back.
That's
Be pretty dependent on where they end up, but something to think about.
as of right now, Matt does have enough models on that point to take it from Eli, unless Eli can somehow bring back that skink unit, which I don't think he can do in Matt's turn. Eli debating right now whether to spend a command point to keep that unit of skinks from running off the board, because as we discussed before, they have 5 bravery.
Let's see what happens here.
Eli electing to just let that unit run away and keep his command point. That might have saving that command point might have been the best choice there. I don't know what a 3-man unit of skinks could have done in that situation besides just target those Blood Knights a little bit.
Right, end of turn 1 now. Let's take a look at this mighty roll off in our ice cam. Any die.
Include it specifically says you can reroll any die.
Now, something to think about here is if Eli rolls a 1 and he needs that turn, he can roll Slambo, but Matt gets to retaliate with another Slambo.
He does, yes. Matt really looking for that double turn here to once again shot up in that shooting phase. So Eli won priority there. I believe going to take the turn. Which means Matt gets to choose an objective to pull off the board. He's going to choose that bottom left one with the Realm Shaper engine, essentially right in the middle. Oh, yeah. Apologies, everyone. That is a special rule for the Slambo mission. Do not believe that happens in normal Feral Foray play.
That's right, Steven. The special rule for Feral Foray is you can potentially burn an objective if you are in your opponent's deployment zone.
It looks like we're still having some audio issues, Spencer.
Everything is looking good on our side. Now, they may be experiencing some potential, like some fake audio issues in the sense that they can hear Matt and Eli talking while we're talking, and then we stop. That cuts the microphone out. Is that what y'all are hearing? could give me some more information, that would.
Eli debating on spell choices here, I believe. Battle tactics. Eli debating on which battle tactic he wants to do. It's going to be a little difficult for him to take back enough objectives to get that hold more.
That's true. That 10 block Blood Knight unit on his right hand side is really hurting right now.
Yeah, their damage might be halved, but their save is still a 3-up, and there's still 10 of them at 3 wounds each.
It's 30 wounds. That's as many wounds as a unit of brutes now. Everything's coming up orcs. Oh, I think we have a special little celebrity here in chat. We have a first-time chat from Caleb. Now, is this Caleb Hastings, the Seraphon superstar that we have in Texas?
All right. You guys still go for a recovery? Yep. I think there's enough mortal wounds coming that
And that could be it, Harrison. You know what? I will look into adding some stream beats. Maybe we can get a sponsor. And that is Caleb Hastings. Now, y'all, if y'all have any interest in Seraphon and you need some Seraphon content in your life, you go to YouTube, you type in Caleb Hastings, the amount of videos this man has put out, espousing the wonderful aspects of Seraphon.
Is every single one about Seraphon?
For the most part. It's either Seraphon or Seraphon adjacent.
It's either Seraphon or Seraphon and Bow Train. And 25. Yep, all of them. 60 my points.
It's 6 command points. I believe that is a special ability. I forget what it's called, but he gets to roll either on a 4-up or a 5-up for some of his heroes, and if he rolls that, he gets extra command points.
Hey, that's free real estate. Now, I did go ahead and remove that noise gate, and I think we may have fixed that audio issue. So you let me know. You give me a thumbs up. You give me a follow if we did. Thanks, y'all. And Caleb, unless we get another book for Seraphon this summer, I have a feeling they're still going to be very good going into this next GHB. Battle line centric, Skinks, Coalesced, yes, please.
And that's Foresight and Astral Herald giving Eli those extra command points, starting out with 6, top of turn 2.
Ooh,
To the
to the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. Now, what did Eli take for his battle tactic this turn?
Slay the Warlord.
Which, do you know who the Warlord is for that Soulblight?
I do. I believe it is going to be the Vampire Lord on foot. I actually don't have it marked here, but I do believe that is correct.
4 units. Alright. Yeah, good choice. Let's go for Zombie. Yep. 2 units. Okay.
Oh no, the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon is the general for this army, so Eli is calling it out and saying he's going to kill it this turn. Wow. So it looks like the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon has 1 wound left just from the sheer output of mortal wounds that Eli is able to produce.
Hey, mortal wounds are mean.
I've been telling people, Spencer, all you have to do to counter mortal wounds is just have a 4-up save on everything.
A 4-up save on everything or a 4-up save for mortal wounds?
And just for everything.
Oh yes, I charge. I made
Yeah, you kill all, you heal, so you
yeah, but the greater set sword is son afterward.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But
So you said big
yeah, the greater sword, greater set sword when it costs less. Like I mean, but charge. Yeah, but still easy.
Okay. So let's leave Equilibrium because we didn't change our spell last turn.
Doing that Celestial Equilibrium, which I believe is the +1 to cast on all the Seraphon heroes. Well, +1 to magic rolls in general.
That's true.
Because I leave my bookmark in my spells. No, cast on 7.
Ooh, just does not get that off. Cast on a 7 though.
Yeah, I don't want to. That's an 8.
That does go on.
Nope. I take it back again. Re-rolling it gets an 8. Cast Celestial Equilibrium.
Okay, I guess 3. Then we'll
That is right, Randy. If you have 200 wounds, you don't care about mortal wounds.
Eli just going through his hero phase, all the usual stuff. Common's Call, Serpent Staff, Starborn Staff on the Priest.
It is the stone staff, starstone staff.
Starstone Staff.
Yeah. Yep. It's a lot to say. It's a lot to keep in mind.
Lot of stars. A lot of
There's a lot of
stars.
stones, a lot of stones, a lot of stabs.
Yeah.
Staves.
Alright, I think that's worth it. So from the Necromancer case. 4 plus 10, actually.
No.
Thank you, God dice.
Starstone staff, starstone staff, starstone staff. Now, I would prefer you send my prize in the form of chicken tenders, and I will give you that address in the DM. Don't you worry.
Alright. Everyone's doing all that good stuff, so good. Moving phase. Oh wait, no. First.
Oh,
And
yes.
the only other shit that I have also, Serpent Staff, we're going to
Continuing the Seraphon hero phase.
continue the action Serpent.
Continuing the Seraphon hero phase. Magic is over. Time for prayer.
Magic's overrated.
It's a magic of a different flavor.
I don't know if you can say that, Spencer.
An a magic denier, if you will.
And Harrison, I am a chicken tender fan. I will not participate in your games unless it's Trogon Spider Violence. Don't you worry.
Zaxby's is better.
All right, that sounds like a called shot right there.
So we're gonna put that. These guys. They don't have a shoot charge. And we're gonna try to bless them. Successful.
Alright.
I believe Eli now has the trifecta on that big unit of Skinks, Serpent Staff, Starstone Staff, and Bless.
And
I mean-
nothing else I need to actually pray for.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Spencer, but that is 6 up on wound and 6 up on hits are mortal wounds?
No, it's just a wound.
Just 2 wounds.
Yes.
Oh, and run and charge. Or run and shoot?
Run, shoot, and charge.
Run, shoot, and charge. Oh my goodness.
So it's +1 to save against missile weapons, run, shoot, and charge, as well as the 6s to wound or mortal wounds. I don't know if he was able to get Hand of Glory off to get reroll ones as well, or
No,
Curse.
he was not able to get Hand of Glory off. I do believe he got Curse off, though, on the unit of Blood Knights. No Curse at all.
Engine's way over there.
Did anything go on the Blood Knights?
-1 to hit.
So Blazing Starlight.
That was it. Blazing Starlight onto the Blood Knights. -1 to hit. So they're now hitting on 4s and 5s instead of 3s and 4s. And Harrison, I'm a Stormcast player. I do have Caradron Overlords, but none of them are painted.
Now, that is the case for the majority of Steven's units, but we are not going to get into that right now.
I'll have you know, Spencer, unlike some of us, my entire Slambo list is painted.
Wow, the amount of vitriol coming from my co-caster is palpable. It's palpable. And you're right, Harrison. Caradron Overlord, Stormcast, what's the difference? They all go into Tempest Eye just the same. Now, I did institute a new button that I think is going to come in handy in our next stream. Steven, do you want to tell the viewers at home what this button says?
The button says WOG.
That is true. Now, let's see what happens when I press this button. Oh,
He's changing spell to Celtic.
here we go. Let's see what happens. We're going to have a little pop-up. Oh, there he is. Don't worry, guys. We're figuring this technology thing out one turn at a time.
Eli finishing up his movement phase right now, giving Matt plenty of opportunities to redeploy, which he will not take because he wants to be in melee combat.
He wants to be as close as possible. He wants to gum up that board. He wants to stop Eli from moving anywhere near those Blood Knight units.
That is the plan. Fortunately for that plan, the zombie's a little bit out of position.
It's not an immediate relevant, but it might become relevant.
I was thinking immediately.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was probably not in front of that. Any of that.
Yes.
Is that 24 over here?
Yes.
So the edge of the got some research, right? So I think we need a tall stick right there. So the string will put it in front. So I think we can do that. Yep. All right. We'll go shooting.
And a movement phase for Eli going into that all-important Seraphon shooting phase.
You want me to do it fair or not? Are we overhead or do you want me to do it fair?
Yeah, if you could roll in the box, Eli, so the people at home can see your incredibly brutal shooting phase.
No. That's a 12. That is a bolt.
Yep.
So,
We're within 12. You measured it.
yeah. So I'm gonna, yeah.
That sounds very
2 up.
Hey! You have to actually roll some armor saves.
Alright, skink time. All the skinks are firing at the zombie dragon. That can't. So let's go ahead and double check that. Because he's on the edge, maybe.
The entire unit of skinks, the only remaining unit of skinks, shooting into the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon with 1 wound left. Eli really wants to pick up that battle tactic.
Skinks, 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 skinks gonna do it. Skinks gonna do it. 54 attacks coming at that Zombie Dragon.
10. Would you like all defense?
And remember, they do have Serpent Staff on them, so every wound roll, unmodified wound roll of a 6 is just a mortal wound. And in all honesty, that is what Eli is fishing for. These guys do not hit very hard. He is fishing for those 6s.
No, they're all, yeah, we'll go with the 6 into the
It's not bad.
See, even Caleb's getting in on that. Now, I wish I had an ability to. Even Caleb was getting in on that skink action. Now, I really wish I had the ability to pop up new graphics for, models that are attacking. But hey, I'll get some artwork commissioned. We'll throw some skink art in there. Don't worry.
And bucket.
Now the buggy. 54 attacks.
Yep.
What's on that again?
Oh yeah, the dice cam's there. Don't you worry.
54 attacks coming from those skinks into the dice box.
So far, 1, 2, 3.
Doing it the incorrect way, though, and rolling them in batches?
Well, you see, when you have large dice, like Weird Knobs dice, you're going to need to roll them in batches.
I don't really do that. That's why I roll all my attacks at once just because I really enjoy it.
A horrible person.
17, 18, 19, 20.
Oh, we're getting players bumping the camera a little bit. Apologies. Our dice box is perilously close to our rigging.
27 plus 6 more. 25, 30. Yep. Alright, 31 out of 56 hits.
31 out of 56 hits. Any mortal wounds on those?
No, none of those.
That's coming.
Now we can see.
Oh, okay. I apologize. This is just the hits. Now we're going to roll to wound. Every 6 is a mortal wound.
He's dead.
And he's dead. As I said, that zombie dragon had 1 wound left. Eli definitely overkilling it just to double make sure that he gets that battle tactic.
Making sure he doesn't without a monster.
And we've got some skinks.
I believe that's an Auric, Spencer?
He's skinky in his heart.
Okay. We will go ahead.
Is it double shoot once
Go.
again?
Go fire your foot.
Yes,
It'll be up for it.
got to roll saving once.
This is one of the Bastiladons firing into Blood Knights, I believe. Oh no, this is Engine of the Gods firing into the Blood Knights on the right.
Almost. They're like, oh, attack, boss. Boss?
Boss.
Oh well.
Me.
They're busy yelling at CSAT here.
Pretty much. Let's see. Man, I really don't fire that forward.
That's okay, man. You're shooting face.
Nah, I prefer that.
I mean, if you don't want to shoot for the horde, you can just end your shooting face. I'm not making you take your shots.
No, it's for like good. Do I go for blood knights? That's the fucking problem.
And Spencer, this is from last stream, but the people do want to know, when is the ponytail cam coming?
Oh, Steven, I don't know if we can do that on our Twitch right now. Now, we may be looking at only slans, and from there we could potentially have some pony cam action. Don't
All right,
you
all right.
worry.
Start with pot shots and know where they need to go. So pot shots are going there. In fact, I think all pot shots go there. Yep.
Yeah, another a Bastiladon into the Blood Knights now. Apologies once again. This is the priest. Those two priests sitting in the Realm Shaper engine.
3 of us.
Into Blood Knights. Yeah. So looking for 4s. Kill all 3.
That's 3 damage.
6s. Grave sets at the moment. Where's the other one that you're shooting start off of?
Right here.
That is too far back, and this is too far forward, so yeah, just 1, 2, 3.
Are you within range there?
Twisted Tree 7. Thank you for the follow.
Next damage, I fall back range.
The next hand you fall back range. Okay. Well, let's see if this king priest will do that. So 4s and 3s. Yep. 1 and -1.
4.
No.
Fine.
Okay.
Now, I did go ahead and throw some background music on. Can you just give me a thumbs up if you can hear that? Thought that might, fill the silence a little nicely.
Wait for something to shoot before I do it. Like the, might as well do it when you don't have it. Alright, this is going to be 3 to hit. Unless you say that last time.
Up to you.
Ooh, we have a bot in chat. Let's go ahead and take care of that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 -1.
5 -1.
Ooh, look at that. Quick ban. Quick in order.
Alright, so 3 ups.
Can't hear music.
You can't hear music, but you know what? I will do what I can to fix that for you. Just for you, Twisted Tree.
Will be 1, 2 casualties, and 1 floating.
And I don't believe you were right for javelins. Nope. That front one being gone took you out of it.
That was Bastiladon into Blood Knights, taking out 2 of them, but taking it out of range for the rest of the Bastiladon's attacks. Apologies. Eli also angrily informing me that he killed, in fact, 3 Blood Knights.
That's a lot of Blood Knights to kill, if I do say so
This
myself.
is a lot of Blood Knights to kill. Eli just making the hill he's standing on harder and harder to climb.
Now, you say that, but he is currently behind on victory points, and he is going to have an uphill battle getting hold 1, hold 2, hold more.
I do not think he's going to be able to hold more this turn. If the Engine of the Gods can get in there and kill enough Blood Knights, he has to kill quite a few of them to take that point back from Matt.
That's true. Now, Harrison, I do have a little bit of a teaser for you. I am in talks with Kenny G to get some smooth jazz directly piped into your ear holes from now on. Don't you worry. Harrison, that's right next to my Dom button. Don't worry, it's there.
Damage versus the Graveyard and Seraphon. The Graveyard making a minimum 6-inch charge.
Yes.
Minimum.
Eli debating where he's going to put the rest of his shooting, if he wants to continue bullying those Blood Knights or start whittling down those Graveguard, which make a minimum of a 6-inch charge.
Yeah, and I think going after the Blood Knights is a better play there, Steven, because Graveguard, they hit hard, but they also come back. And
They do,
you
yeah.
know, doing some plink damage to some Graveguard, it's not going to help out too much, but taking down 1 or 2 Blood Knights,
Because I don't believe Matt can bring back any Blood Knights at all, but except with the exception of Rally.
that's right. And so doing plink damage there, a lot more deadly than on the Graveguard themselves.
Yeah, like you said, those Graveguard in the Battle Shock phase coming back on a 5-up. He has multiple ways to bring those models back. Oh, now in the charge phase, as we predicted, that Engine of the Gods charging directly into those Blood Knights.
Honestly, not a bad play. That Engine of the Gods is going to be buffed to the 9s as far as just extra attacks. And he's just going to be ignoring damage.
He does have a couple of abilities that either permanently give him +1 attack, or he can pop once per game for that +1 attack. And the Engine of the Gods melee profile is fairly good.
It's a lot. Now, it's all -1 rend, which is not great going into 3.0, but it doesn't matter.
It's better than 0.
Now, you see, the other part of this, Eli, or Steven, is for Eli, if he charges into the Blood Knights, that prevents them from charging into him, and getting extra bonuses there.
I think he would be worried about that if Scaly Skin didn't just automatically reduce the damage back down to 1.
Harrison, if you just want to hand me over those Scuttlings, that'd be great. Thank you. One plus save -1 damage is not broken because they still fail on a 1. 16% of the time, they're failing every time. That's math, science. It's physics even.
No, actually, it's pretty broken, Spencer.
I don't, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree.
Ooh, looks like that Engine of the Gods melee turn did not do as much as Eli was hoping it would do.
Looks like 4 from each unit. Rough. It's rough for those Blood Knights now. After those Blood Knights, he's pretty much just got his zombie unit as well as the Graveguard. I don't even see... Looks like he may have his foot Vampire Lord and the Necromancer,
He
but
does still have both of those foot heroes.
all the hammers are gone.
All of the hammers are gone. The Graveguard are do hit-
Hamvils.
handfuls.
Hamvils.
No,
They're Hamvils. That is the play.
piling in to get that crackback on the Engine of the Gods. Eli did not quite kill enough of them to take that point back, unfortunately.
Just bracket the Basilodon from range. Not that hard. Yeah, it's not that hard. Easy. Just roll 6s.
Spencer, I'm going to need you to stop bullying Matt.
Listen, Steven. I cannot control what I do.
This is the combat from the Blood Knights into the Engine of the Gods.
Yeah, and that's the last piece of combat that we're going to see for this turn.
Well, Spencer, this is still top of turn 2, I believe.
Yes, sorry. From the turn, not the battle
top of
round.
round 2.
Yes, yes. I mean, let's look at the positioning here, Steven. So we have an Engine of the Gods that is tying up some Blood Knights, but there's a lot of empty space for those Graveguard to get moving.
There is.
Right, and looks like we got 8 points total for Eli going into the bottom of 2.
Are you sure it's 8 points? He holds 1, does not hold 2.
8 points total.
8 points total.
4. He gets hold 1, hold 2. You got
Does Eli actually hold 2 objectives? That bottom right objective.
You know what? Here we go. We're gonna figure this out, Steven. Hold 1.
Hold 1.
Battle tactic for 2. Killed a monster for an additional.
That is true. The only monster on the field.
No, the only Soulblight monster.
Only Soulblight
And
Gravelords monster on the field. That was
did that
awesome.
with a monster.
No, he did not. It was actually with the skinks. Because it turns out 51 attacks with mortal wounds on 6s to wound is capable of dealing 1 damage to a zombie dragon.
That is math. Ooh, and we're gonna get some Savage Spearhead on. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the deployment zone tracker, just so we can see where that is.
Savage Spearhead for Soulblight Gravelords, bottom of round 2. It should be fairly easy for him to achieve that, seeing as the territory for each player is split exactly down the middle of the board. Matt's still holding on to that Grave Sand, which gives him another +1 on his Deathless Minion save.
Just so we can show the viewers what the deployment zones look like there. It's a very nice little graphic overlay that our own Jeff V worked on. Thank you, Jeff.
Matt getting one of his all-important spells off. I'm not sure which one it was.
Double fight.
That is double fight on the Graveguard, I believe. Oh, he's not decided yet. It's probably going to be the Graveguard, if I'm going to be honest. This is a big turn for Soulblight Gravelords. He has been getting shot up quite a bit, but if you can get those Graveguard and the zombies in combat with all of those monsters and skinks in the middle of the board.
Ooh, that's a double fight on the zombies. Now, they do mortal wounds on 6s. It's gonna... it's rough.
And just from the measuring, it looks like he is going to be able to get within 6 of the Stegodon and one of the Bastiladons. Which, mortal wounds, one of the best ways of dealing with a Bastiladon, because it, as you know, Spencer, it has a 1-up save.
You're still failing on 1, Steven.
But it's still technically a 1-up save.
Now, Harrison, if you were offering to bring Matt some hot cocoa and a blanket for the thrashing that is currently happening, I can give you the address. If you will pick me up some chicken tenders from Cane's or Zaxby's, don't care.
Preferably Zaxby's.
They are super okay with this one. Like, we know what we're doing. Decisive.
All right, we have a redeploy. It's coming up on some skinks. Let's see where it happens. Oh. It's a solid redeploy there. Now, Harrison, I know you said you're painting some wildwoods, but can we just say thank you again for this wonderful terrain? We'll get some shots up later so that everyone can see how awesome this terrain looks on this table.
And the casters are back. Looks like moving into Matt's, or continuing Matt's movement phase. Those zombies rolled a 3. They're going 7 inches. They do have a 6-inch pylon.
They're getting where they need to go, Steven. Don't you worry.
And they do mortal wounds on a 6 to hit, to wound?
Yes, that is, it's the hit, and it's a lot. And yes, Harrison, that is your grasslands mat. Ooh, a battle mage on Griffin. Those are really cool models. Man, I do miss the old world. I do miss those Empire models, but gotta say, Age of Sigmar, it's a lot better of a game. Yeah, Harrison, we did a couple of screen tests, so it may seem like we don't know what we're doing, and we don't. But we did do our due diligence and try to figure out what was going to show up best on stream, and I think this worked out pretty well.
Moving everything up to get those charges and those pile-ins. The zombies will be fighting twice. Not only does that mean they get another attack sequence, but they get another 6-inch pile-in to further wrap and just bog down the big monsters in the back. Also attempting to take Eli's last objective on him. And what I would call styling on Eli.
I believe the phrasing you're looking for, Steven, is bullying, and that's not something that we here condone.
Unless it's from Eli, apparently.
Listen, Seraphon they're not bullies. They're just star people. They're stardust. They're golden. Sorry, I probably shouldn't sing that song. I don't want to get a copyright strike because I sound just like Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Well, Spencer, they might be golden, but they still can't, tame and ride their own dragons. It's pretty sad.
Sorry for the gift that we've bestowed upon your Stormcast, Steven.
I've got 10 inches of it, so this guy with the 9 is going to the edge. Everybody else is back. Trying to get the 3-inch. I'd be better than trying to get. Of course I have. I shouldn't be doing this. There's little numbers. There's no reason for you to do that. We're sitting right over where this guy's still in office.
Matt debating on whether to retreat those Blood Knights or not, but in the end, just deciding to leave them where they are.
Yeah. It's decidedly just worse in every way. Yes. Like, why would I be on the shell? Alright, well, let's go ahead and see if the, graveyard decided to make the, medium range charge with that.
Oh.
6 will get him in, but I don't think I want.
Going into Soulblight Gravelords shooting phase, and it's done.
We'll see. Yeah, how many time points left? 3. Rules? Got it.
3 plus 3 1. Yes.
Straight into the charge phase. Starting with that all-important Graveguard, trying to get those in.
7 is a little bit more than a 6, as you just heard from Matt. It looks like they're going to go ahead and get in there and shred.
It's an option. But it's an option where I just get shot by the Bastillodon. That guy's not buffed, right?
That one's not up, no.
Alright. Get on 5s.
Yeah, you did it on us.
I'll accept this risk. We need to get in there and do something with the graveyard.
Matt charging in with those Graveguards. They do hit pretty hard, but once again, Scaly Skin just halving basically their entire damage profile.
Yeah, the thing here, Steven, is that they also do mortals. Don't you worry about that. They're going to get damages.
Didn't sound great, but
Apologies for your ears for what just happened. Harrison, please don't talk about the tap of an app. Attendees, all in the same phrasing.
Alright, go for the guarantee.
Looks like Unleash Hell from the Bastillodon, I believe, into those Graveguards that just charged in.
That's 4. That's the 6.
doesn't matter. They're the same dice. Unless your dice are weighted, in which case I have a problem.
2.
He's like trying to whittle down at least a few of those Graveguards to lessen the impact of this upcoming combat phase.
2 damage.
Alright, where are my grave sets? Directly in here yet? Tell you what, let's make this really easy, because that's a bad card. This makes it easy. 6 is reroll 1s.
Matt ending his charge phase, going into combat, electing not to charge those Blood Knights on the left into the Skinks. Probably a good idea, especially with the updated pylon rules. Choosing to start off with piling in those Graveguard. Also probably a good choice, seeing as how they are relatively fragile compared to everything else in his army.
They start for one.
These guys are so used to them having more than one attack.
Oh yeah,
what, the zombies?
Quantum zombies.
Yes. Right now, they're 2 attacks each. 2 hit points. 2 attacks each. Get 2 activations.
Can I roll dangerous for a pilot as well? Right?
Yep.
Sure thing.
You're good.
Alright, let's just real quick make sure I have not overextended myself. That's not even, okay.
Oh, so keep your
Graveguard going into those skinks, Eli electing to all-out defense to kind of cancel out the red one on those Graveguard to keep them at a 5-up, Spencer, or 6-up? 5-up.
5 because I got stars and staff.
Oh, 5-up because he has Starstone Staff.
And these guys don't have this very well. So, how many do I have?
Force wound. Is that force? 2 mortal wounds and 6 saves at 1 round. 2 damage each, but it's, CFC.
So let's do 6 saves. These are 5.
There's 6 saves into those skinks with 2 mortal wounds. Usually 2 damage, but again, with Scaly Skin going back down to 1.
Oh, I just thought that was cool. So this is 4 plus the 2 more wounds. Plus. So 5.
Yeah, 5. Alright.
Is that it?
5 skinks go down. And Eli electing to fight into those Blood Knights that have not attacked yet with the Engine of the Gods. Let's see if he can take out another 4 Blood Knights. Four damage into those Blood Knights, but he is within range of his gravesite, so he does get that 6-up ward.
Hey, that 6-up ward save is no joke in this army.
Re-rolling ones as well. Still not managing to make any of those 6-up, but 6-up ward is still pretty good in this army. Is that your? Is that? I got on over there, not the engine. Oh, right. And I apologize. That Seraphon monster on the right is a Stegodon, not an Engine of the Gods. The Engine of the Gods is bottom center. Does end up taking out 3 more of those Blood Knights though. Which I believe the Stegodon still has the Engine of the God melee profile, just not the.
Yeah, it's a more or less the same there, Steven.
It's like. This is those Blood Knights cracking back into the Stegodon, hoping to put a few more wounds onto it.
Oh, look at that. We've got S Danger in chat, and he says kill them all.
But once again, with the Thunder Lizards subfaction, plus 2 wounds just on every monster in the list, making them even more tanky. Chipping some more wounds off on that Stegodon on the left.
It's a mean thing to do. I gotta say, Matt does not look like he is in a poor position. as of right now.
He has lost quite a few units, but I think he's going to control every objective on the board at the end of this turn.
Thereabouts, yeah.
I lost a lot of left. My left.
Oh, that's true. Those Blood Knights are technically only one model at 3 wounds each. So
There are no gore grunts, that's for sure.
He remembered to the point where he's like, he just dropped the 16-inch line and said, I don't pass this.
Yeah, I put it back there.
Yeah. So,
Steven.
And made very
Draculines can
not
cast.
to be within 16.
we had all
yeah, Spencer, yes, Draculines can cast, but they can only cast in power, which is +1 to wound.
And that also cut some of the damage on
It's not too bad.
positive position. So.
But Spencer, are Draculines worth 110 points more than Gorgrunt is?
He got caught by that last game when he didn't account for
They've got an extra 3 inches of move, Steven.
Yeah, but that's essentially irrelevant because you're just going to do your Ironjaw's movement shenanigans anyway.
In addition, you do have D3 damage on your claws.
No, it's 2 damage now.
Joel, it's okay. We appreciate your apology. If you could just send us some chicken tenders, that'd be wonderful.
From Zaxby's. Eli piling those skinks back into the graveyard for probably a crackback that is going to hurt a little bit. I'm not sure what buffs those skinks have on them, but I do see some buff markers, so it's likely Serpent Staff, Starstone Staff, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the skink unit with the Starstone Staff, as well as the Serpent Staff.
That is nasty. 6 to wound his mortal wounds.
Tap of an app. Harrison, that sounds like the name of your memoir.
Wow, all those attacks from the skinks and only pushing through 5 saves and a mortal onto those graveguard. That was not what Eli wanted. He wanted to do a lot more damage there.
I will compensate by also going for that.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Still less than you should have gotten, but I'll take that right back.
And the zombies are now I didn't want to
Sandwiches. Reinforcements, what? Alright, so
Matt now starting the 6-inch pylon with his 40 block of zombies.
So it's the first 6-inch pylon.
And don't forget, he gets to do this again with that 40 block of zombies.
So total of 6, 7
damage to 2. So these guys are just going to be trading. I can get all the way into pile in with these two. So
That that is true. Depending on how many things he kills with the zombies, it could go up even higher than 40.
One of the few units that can actually go above their starting unit size.
Yeah, it is specifically stated in the rules that they may go over their starting unit size.
They're just going to eat some skinks.
Skink zombies. Individually, a single zombie, not very good. You know, one attack, hitting on 5, wounding on 5s, no random 1 damage, dealing some mortal wounds on the 6s, but you have to remember there are 40 of them attacking twice. Map moving thing to try to stay out of combat with those 2 big monsters in the back of Bastillodon and the Engine of the Gods, I believe. Does not want those to stomp on his zombies. Need 22 attacks into those skinks. With, I believe they got the Crimson Feast. The Crimson Feast command ability to give them 1 extra attack on each zombie, which I don't know if you knew, Spencer, but an extra attack on 40 units with 1 attack each is 40 extra attacks.
It's almost double.
It is exactly double.
Could be more, could be less, could be double.
Yeah, so those foot heroes that Matt has doing exactly what they're supposed to do and buffing those zombies so they can go in there and literally chew some stuff up.
Looks like they're coming back in.
The second combat phase for those zombies, Matt deciding to pile into the Bastillodon Engine of the Gods at the back. And I'm not sure of the wording, but does that mean the Bastillodon and the Engine will get to fight in this combat phase?
That is correct, Stephen. It's almost like they were just charged to begin with.
When you get your turn, it's gonna run. There's no 2 ways around it.
Oh no, Steven, I need you to take a look at chat. We have someone trying to invade us. Most polite way to phrase that. It's a son of Slambo. Is that some sort of motorcycle gang?
I think so. I think they
Serial
do-
killer, I think, is
Yeah, they have
possibly
the.
it.
I've seen some of them. They have the road leathers and the assless chaps, I believe.
That is true.
And actually, no one has yelled Slambo as of yet, but it is the bottom of round 2.
But I do have something special for you, bud. We have a big old wah ready for you.
Oh, and I apologize, Matt. Only piling into the Bastillodon, still leaving that engine of the gods out of range to fight in this combat phase.
Why do you need to assess chaps? That's the real question. What's there to assess? They're just chaps. They just are. Assless Chaos. Now that's a Chaos faction I could get behind, but you know who couldn't? It's Lanesh. No, I don't believe you've heard that. I think you were hearing things, sir. You might want to get your ears checked out. It's consequence of old age.
Matt's currently fighting Eli, who is Coalesced Thunder Lizards,
That is right.
also known as I have scaly skin and you don't.
That's true. And we've got a unit of zombies coming in for their second round of attacks in a single turn. They're looking to put some damage into...
Throwing a little bit of plink damage at the Bastillodons, fishing for 6s just for some mortal wounds.
Hey,
But mainly going into those
Could
skinks
work,
to
yeah.
try to make some skink zombies. Cold-blooded, not cold-hearted.
how could he be so cold-hearted?
You can't say that. I think it's Congress. Still resolving these zombie attacks.
All right, we've got a Bastillodon cracking back.
Matt Spencer, what is the melee profile of the Bastillodon like? Because I know they're known for their solar beam thing.
Okay, all right, yes, the Venusaurs are known for their solar beams. They get 3 attacks, 3s, -1, D3 damage apiece. So
Not fantastic, not awful.
it's better than incidental. You know. We're gonna see if we can make some zombies here.
Should be everything for the combat phase. So we're gonna try to bring back some zombies at the end of combat.
7 dice on 2s. That is not 7. That is right, Eli. And Matt is retreating into another room to retrieve more zombies because he has more zombies on the board than he started with.
There is now 45 zombies on the board.
Well, there will be.
Yeah, those skinks are almost the perfect thing to charge those zombies into in order to get more zombies.
Ooh, it looks like he just shuffled a zombie around to lock that Stegodon down.
Oh my goodness. That I see what you mean now, Spencer. Strategically placing that zombie coming back at the end of combat to lock the engine of the gods in? Is that what you mean?
No, he's engaged in combat, so you can put him in combat.
Yes. Yes, you can.
But yes, the FAQ that came out yesterday actually is what changed it.
Yeah,
So until then, the window would be after strike left.
Yeah,
You're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's what I thought there was an FAQ. So if he puts
bit of a discussion going on here about whether the Engine of the Gods now gets to fight because Matt placed a zombie within 3 inches of
But
it.
the answer is no, because Matt went ahead and moved the zombie out. So it does look like Matt is going to score hold 1, hold 2, hold more, as well as a battle tactic for 5-point swing
5
into the turn.
points.
Going up 10-8 at the end of 2.
I was pointing at the vampire, but also the zombies. Take your pick. Also the graveyard. The graveyard actually do need that.
Yeah, Matt gets his battle tactic, Savage Spearhead, as well as hold 1, hold 2, hold more.
That's all they did. We're good.
He actually holds 4 objectives right now to Eli's 3. So it's going to be a bit of a tricky priority roll for Eli.
One each turn.
All right, now we're going to head into our roll-off for top of round 3.
Of round 3.
But it does not beat 6.
All right, it looks like Pondering.
Who won the roll-off?
Matt. So it looks like Matt won the roll and is opting to get away just to take away objectives from.
Which, honestly,
From
with the position that he's in, with the Graveguard might take some hit, but the zombies are hard to remove. So he is going to take away Eli's last objective, giving Eli the turn.
No. There's one in the middle.
I should have taken one over there. I should leave this one. I'm done. Never mind. I just pride myself on it. Come on, Bert. And I gave you a possibility of doing Conquer when I should have just left the one.
Yeah. Taking away that objective does mean Matt can no longer conquer, as Eli has no objectives on the board.
Hey guys, y'all have an hour.
How much does he feel kind of dictates the pace of the rest of the game? Is that right? Yeah, is that difficulty break or no? Is that difficulty break? No? Okay. Yeah, go for the one that's in your territory? Alright, I will pull my rage shard as already stated.
Yeah. As Matt has already stated a couple of times, he is blowing that sand shard to give his units, I believe it's a +1 to their deathless minion save, so it goes from a 6 up to a 5 up.
Now, Steven, is that wholly within or is that just army-wide?
That's actually what I'm checking, Spencer, because I was curious, because army-wide would be extremely good, but I believe it's only units wholly within 12 of the Necromancer, which is going to be the majority of the units he has left on the board, the Graveguard and the zombies. Because I can't pinpoint exactly, but the Necromancer is somewhere in that giant block of Soulblight Graveyard units in the middle of the board. Oh, Matt pointing out where the Necromancer actually is.
Almost like I pre-read 12 inches flat tile there.
Eli switching his constellations to Great Drake to give +1 attack to his general, I believe. That is correct.
Actually, you choose in the combat phase.
Oh, you choose just any monster. It is going to be on the Bastillodon, but he can choose any monster,
Any hero.
any hero. So, but not likely to put it on a skink, you think?
Correct.
That's not safe. You have to take that objective.
Eli having a little bit of a breakdown here, trying to figure out exactly what he's going to do this turn.
Let's go ahead and actually go straight to here. So one next. Take 2.
Realm Shaper engine. Again, that is pick a terrain piece and one enemy unit within an inch takes D3 mortal wound, or
3 inches.
within 3 inches takes D3 mortal wounds on a 2-up.
It's based on the range. So if it's within 18 inches, it's a 2-up. That piece of terrain is outside 18, within 36, it's 4-up. If it's at 36 or more, it is a 6-up.
With the smaller board, is that does farther than 36 inches come into play ever?
You will rarely see it unless that Realm Shaper is in the corner. But then again, likely won't.
Oh, it's right. You switched to brutal.
There you go.
10. We got a try. From the Vampire Lord, in case he doesn't make it through the hot spell. He doesn't stop it.
6 units.
This is Comet's Call going off, but only rolling for 1 unit on that. The mortal wounds are nice, but it would have been better to get a little bit more damage.
Alright, then heroic recovery is putting right back where you started.
Yeah, 1 left, right?
Yep.
Yep. Eli. That would have been a good combo. I could have slammed on that, but
Ooh, and we have a Slambo denial player right now. He refuses to yell Slambo. Probably the best option.
Oh, stating that he doesn't need Slambo. Eli trying to kill that vampire lord on foot so it will stop buffing those zombies.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Jeff. Pull that cup out of you.
That vampire lord on foot actually pretty key, giving those zombies an extra attack, the entire block of them, and the other 45, that's a lot of extra attack. So probably a good choice to try to snipe him from the back.
7, 8. And last volley.
Is this the shooting phase
9,
already?
10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, 13.
Yeah, Steven, that's a Stellar Tempest.
I'll save 5 of that. 1, 2, 4, 5. So 13 minus 5 is 8.
8 mortal wounds from Stellar Tempest going into the zombies, I believe. Killing 8 of those zombies. He is going to have to kill a lot of zombies to keep them from coming back.
And last level on the slide is going to be I believe you have no more on ice. Correct. That's a 7. Just enough.
Matt out of Unbind, so Eli can cast basically whatever he wants now. Eli choosing to try to conquer that bottom middle. Yes, chat. It is good that Matt is staying hydrated.
Second, this Arcus is going to cast him.
Special guest caster, everyone. Jeff V. How do you think the game's going so far?
It's looking pretty good. Like Matt has a good foothold here, so it's going to be a pretty pivotal turn.
Yeah, Matt popping a lot of his buffs right now, making it even more difficult for Eli to shift that massive units.
Yeah,
of
the
Soulblight
Van Hells there was pretty big, so Matt's got pretty much board control at this point. So we're looking at a game of, can Eli table Matt fast enough? Does Matt hold on and just pull ahead? Really big turn for Eli right here.
Not only does he have to essentially table Matt, but he also has to get across the board to take those objectives.
Yep.
Which with what he has left, I'm not sure if he can do it.
Yeah, it's
But we'll
gonna be
see.
tough. This is the deciding turn right here. It's like Eli getting off Mystic Shield.
Still casting. And praying, getting as many busts as possible so he can try to take out that unit of Graveguard and the zombies.
Yeah, the Seraphon hero phase is never ending. It's not quite a Lumineth hero phase, but it is an impressive.
Lumineth, I've never heard of them. Is that a new faction?
Not really, but you're better off not hearing about them, so we won't go down that road.
This faction GW has created to harvest its health players year after year. Food face.
Feel like going into his movement phase now, summoning the Life Swarm to try to get some of those skinks back.
So the cool thing about the Life Storm is when you do cast it, you get 2 D3 models back. You get D3 models back when you place it, and then at the end of your hero phase, it gets to move again. You get an extra D3 models back. So
So
Good.
we'll be getting at least 2 skinks back, hopefully more.
No, I got one. So I've got a total of 4 skins.
It's gotten a total of 4 skinks. 3 when you placed it, 1 at the end of hero phase. 3 cast, 1 at the end of movement?
No, it started moving.
Start of movement phase, apologies.
the question though is, will those 4 skinks just become more zombies?
That is true. Is it just more zombies for the Horde?
Is Eli just summoning more zombies?
There is a question from chat, Jeff, which I'm assuming is for you, and is, would you rather deal with a full game against OBR or 1 Seraphon hero phase?
Me personally, I'll go with the OBR game. Every time, hands down.
I think I actually concur. Honestly, the full game against OBR would likely be shorter.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Like, hey, I'm done with my game, and oh yeah, we're still in hero phase.
Not a lot of movement for Eli to be done, just shifting around a Bastiladon. And directly into the shooting phase
Yep,
for
here we go.
Seraphon. This is the pivotal phase of the pivotal turn for Eli.
2 sixes. 2. 3. This is Soulblight. Right? Sure.
I believe Eli just rolled his Engine of the Gods.
Kind of missed that there, Steven. You know what happened there? He rolled down Engine of God's table. Do you know
Yeah.
what he's getting here?
I think he rolled a 16 on the Engine of the Gods, which means he is getting those 10 Source Warriors, which could be extremely helpful.
Ah, see. Oh, and he just finished painting these Source Warriors. He's been working on these for a while.
Yeah.
You know what they say about those new models, new coat of paint, and how they play? You'd be a little bit worried right now. But hey, they're painted. They're not prime, so that's the plus.
That is true. Actually desperately needing these extra bodies to try to contest that point in the middle. Having to be outside of 9, I don't think they're actually going to be on the point, so he is going to have to charge them in if he wants them to count.
Could make a charge.
That is a good point. Twisted Tree, the Saurus Warriors might just end up being more zombies for Matt.
So you got options though. You got zombies for Matt. You got boots for the Blood Knights. I mean, we can do a lot with this next game. This dude's getting 16. You know.
Fusel configuration. We're gonna try to plasma bolt your vampire.
Here comes that laser gun.
Yep, here comes the Fusel of Conflagration. The Skink plasma pistol.
Ooh, drops 3 mortal wounds.
3 mortal wounds on the zombies, I believe. Oh, on the Vampire Lord. That's
Ooh.
actually key. That was what is giving the zombies their extra attack. Their damage profile just got cut
Shot
in
with a
half.
space gun. That's sad.
That is unfortunate.
So we got the Stegodon shooting into the Blood Knights over there, taking 1 model off.
Yep, on the right there. That combat that's been going on basically all game, just plinking damage into each other. Hopefully the Stegodon in the fight phase can take off those Blood Knights. We are getting a little bit of a frame stutter again. We are going to be working on that. We apologize. We are experiencing a little bit of a frame rate issue again. We apologize. We're working on it. Ten Graveguard left, roughly halfway through Seraphon shooting phase.
All right, we have some shots going into the graveyard from one of those Bastillodons there.
The first Bastillodon to fire, I believe.
So this could be 3-0 levels. Yep. With 1 more. So it's gonna be 4 minus 1.
4 minus 1. Also comes to be at 5. Save 1, so 7 roll.
7 plus the death.
5 for 2 months.
There's the 1.
Alright, so I'll lose 3.
Okay. And you got it. Max 4s. Reroll 1s. Okay.
Nice.
And 4s. 1 and no. 4 out.
5 out of the box, 4.
Okay.
So I lose 3.
You lose 3. 3 graveyard.
Solar Engine and the Javelin's taking off 3 Graveguard. I believe there's seven left.
Yeah. I forgot about these messages. Too far in now.
Why don't you make a call now? I don't want to use it.
I have to use it in my hero phase
Okay.
to decide whether I want it would have been extra tax.
Gotcha. You play with something. I thought, what's it called? Something. This is the answer. That's what it is. Okay.
So I have 1 set of extra tax, but not 2.
Gotcha.
44 shots going into the zombies there.
44. This is going to be.
It's going to probably take off a few.
Yeah, once again, I do see some buff markers on there. Not sure exactly what buffs Eli managed to get off there, but any of them would be helpful.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not 5. That's 4. Yep. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. 12, 13, 14,
15 hits so far into those
15, 17.
zombies from the big block of skinks.
So you can exactly average it 2.
I do.
All right, right down the middle.
Right down the middle. All right.
22.
22 out of 44 attacks into the zombies from the skinks.
1, 2, 3 so far. Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
All right. You have bonus morals?
Yeah, 2 more. These are all zombies.
Yeah.
So
So that's 2 more morals. So it's 8 armor and 2 morals, which is just 10 damage.
Yep.
All right.
8 armor and 2 mortal going into the zombies, which, because they have no save, just equals out to being 10 damage.
These all be in line. Oh, you got 2 more after that.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
I
gotcha.
rolled the 2 if that's okay.
Yeah. All right. So looking for 5s. Wow. My zombies are unimpressed. At least
Wow, because of that grave sand making 5 of those ward saves, so the 10 damage, only
I mean,
5
it's not
damage
that-
goes through.
Not that he needed it. He rolled 4 6s there, Steven.
Oh, I was not watching the dice cam. Was it 4 6s?
4 6s.
they're still there.
Hey, an extra zombie living is an extra zombie living. Well, unliving, you could say.
This was still on fire. With the javelins.
Closest I can ever see it.
Yeah. With these javelins going through.
All right.
Final Bastillodon going into that 7 block of Graveguard. Oh, actually, Solar Engine going into the zombies, I believe? Okay. And Javelins going into the grave because the zombies are a little bit far away.
There's 2.
And then the graveyard 5s. There's what I needed. 4s. And 1. 1 in the graveyard.
All right. I still have all defense, so leave for 4.
They're good. That's my shooting. So spend a command point. Do double pop. Can't do the guns. No, double pop. So Solon's gonna fire into those zombies.
Gotcha.
Okay. This is going to be 3 rolls.
Whatever
And
you want.
Eli has used the Thunder Trove of the Ancients command ability to go ahead and shoot that Bastillodon a second time, dumping everything into the zombies that are right there.
Yeah, really trying to take out that big block of zombies, even though there is a chance that when he does, they might just come back at half strength. But I believe that is a command ability at a 5-up.
Yes, if he had Gorslav, the Gravekeeper, that would not be a 5-up. It would just happen. Which is
But still, 33% chance to just bring back 20 zombies.
They get one on the drums. Oh, they get one on the drums.
That's awesome.
It used to be they just double their movement but can't charge, and now they just get a real charge.
That's really good.
Yeah.
What else is charming?
But into the guys.
All right. That's not snake eyes.
Ka-chug. Grip.
Engine of the Gods going into those zombies, doing 1 mortal wound as impact hits, which still free damage.
You know, it would be nice if I had impact hits, Steven. My Maw Crusher lost it.
Yeah, I know how that feels. I also don't have any impact hits.
Yeah, but I don't play dragons, so
I
I'm still
also
good
don't
for
play Dragon, Spencer, so don't
Dragon
put
boy.
that on me.
Dragon Boy here.
Going straight
Engine of the Gods going into those zombies with all out attack.
I'll keep nothing because I
And he does have that extra attack this turn. And I believe it's just the one extra attack this turn on the Engine of the Gods.
2 command trait plus great trait.
Command trait plus the Constellation, giving him 2 extra attacks on the Engine of the Gods into those zombies.
Okay.
all right.
Okay. Nice horns. Let's go. How many can I clear? 2 to hit. And plus your times is going to be 5, 6, 7. 2. That's 2, 4. Yeah, another 4 damage.
All right.
That's 2, 2.
Yep. More $5.
Matt having to make quite a few 5-up saves here for those zombies. Let's see how many get stomped on.
That's the US. 3 5s and 2 6s. That's good.
Okay, so it's 11.
That's 11.
All right. I agree.
That is 11 dead zombies.
But how many real zombies is that, Steven?
11.
That's a lot, but I don't know. We had the 8 it's enough. I mean, you still got Caesar.
Oh.
And it's still not one for you.
Might be enough, actually. I think it is just barely enough.
Let's just say you do.
A lot of damage, but still zombies left in the unit.
All right.
You're good.
Doing exactly what they're meant to do. Stand there, soak up damage, be a tar pit.
Yeah, you killed one more than I need. One less and I will eject it.
That does get Eli the objective, though, I believe.
As of
As of
right now, until those Graveguard pile in and take out that Basilodon.
If they can reach.
Yeah. We're going to go ahead and swing. We're swinging with the Graveguard into the Sphinx.
You got it.
All right, so we got 10 left. They're going down.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
All right. Oh, that's right. You did 2 more after that. So I've got 8 times. So it's 16. 4 dice now. Plus 1 because of my unit champion.
Yep, you saw it.
Yep, right there between 2 damage.
Yep.
All right.
So 17.
It's 16 plus 1. Yes, 17.
Pick up a die.
Yes, you handed me one. I'm like, that's the one I have.
No, it's 4
Alright,
gives you
so-
16.
I think that this is going to be the triumph. So
So you're going to the. Okay.
All right, Matt popping his triumph for +1 to wound on the Graveguard into Skinks.
Yep.
Graveguard into Skinks, 17 attacks, +1 to wound.
I need those 6s back.
Yeah, if it needs no wounds.
Vision for those 6s to wound, for those mortal wounds on the
Not
Graveguard.
bad, that triumph looked good.
Yep.
10. And 2 mortal wounds and there's 1 round.
10, I have no buff to save, so that's going to go through.
Alright, so that is total 12 damage.
12 damage, including mortal.
Yes.
Okay.
10 plus 2 for 4.
It's about 12 damage from the Graveguard into those Skinks, since they currently do not have any buffs to save.
This plus 2.
10 so far. 11.
11 dead.
That is 11 dead Skinks.
Good to know.
And because Eli is tapped on command points, that might mean the unit in battle shock, but we'll see. Eli's shaking his head yes, so that is probably a yes. Life Swarm keeping that unit in the game, but I think they might just run at the end of, in Battle Shock phase anyway.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Eli deciding where he's going to activate next. It looks like it's going to be the Stegodon on the right into those Blood Knights. Just checking the bracket right now to see how many attacks he's going to get. He only has to kill 2 more Blood Knights to free up that Stegodon. R.I.P. Skinks. Yes, it is very sad. Oh, the Stegodon not pushing through enough wounds to kill either of those Blood Knights, so that banner is still alive.
This guy is going to shuffle around in orbit so that he can hit both there. And then everybody else.
Matt now piling in the zombies 6 inches, just kind of shuffle around, do some chip damage, maybe eat some skinks to get some more zombies back.
So you'll be closest to the graveyard.
Do a break back.
Yeah. But I'm going to at least make this as hard. I love this army.
Matt eating the rest of the skinks. No more skinks left. They all.
Caleb.
Oh,
The skinks are there. They're fine.
that is unfortunate.
Don't worry. Your skink brethren will survive.
Yeah, losing that vampire lord on foot actually hurting the combat effectiveness of those zombies quite a bit.
Over to you. Also in game plan, oh god, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Oh god, what the fuck?
And I don't believe the zombies are fighting twice this turn.
Oh, they are.
Oh, they are. They are.
Van
in
Hells
fact.
is singing. Don't worry.
We can dance if we want to.
So the skinks might die yet. There is hope that those skinks will be dead.
5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This is a relatively close game on paper, Spencer, because while Eli is down a lot of models, all of his monsters still have most of their wounds left, and Matt is running out of models with
Yeah.
which to target it.
That's the thing with Soulblight, though. They never run out.
That is true.
They may be down. They are not out. Yeah, there's different sizes.
Need that. Alright. Let's go ahead and restrict.
Last few combats just kind of ineffectually swinging at each other, which, when it comes down to it, Matt probably is okay with.
Hello. 9, 10 from the riders. 3s and 3s.
Blood Knight's fighting into that Bastiladon, which is famously difficult to push damage through, so we'll see how it goes. Only taking damage
Not enough random matter.
on a 1.
You're good.
Yep.
Build up on armor.
To no one's surprise, Eli made all of the Bastiladon saves.
Nightmares. 4s. 4s. 1. You're fine. The movement was more important.
They're not actually guaranteed to come back. That is a command ability, I believe. On a 5-up, he can bring summonable units back. It's just a die roll.
Every turn. Every end of
Oh,
battle.
I mean, when the entire unit dies,
Yeah.
that is a command ability.
Yes.
Okay.
Swinging in the zombie.
Alright.
Because I think that's more relevant.
Yes, they are. The graveyard are more terrifying. The zombies are only deeper.
Alright, 2s, 3 roll 1s. And 3s. Look at that. Mortal wound and 2d3 damage.
Yep.
For 3 total damage.
5s. 3 damage. 3. Okay. Back to me.
Yep.
Alright,
It's there.
and zombies round 2. Yes, sir. Zombies round 2.
Yeah, I apologize. That is going to be Endless Legions, which is one of their battle traits. Not in fact a command ability. And that is true. It is Matt, so it might be a 1/3 chance, but if it's Matt, they always come back.
That's not true. That's not true. I've pulled off greater cards for 2 rounds before.
I'm going to start getting not getting anything back.
You would have fucking tried that waiting for nothing came back on one of those games. Yep.
Oh, we didn't tell you. We didn't tell you, Eli. It's a special roll. Matt doesn't have to roll. They just come back in this game.
That is close. He spends a command point and they come back.
You got anything left to activate? I'm still on here.
That
Just finishing up the last couple combats in this turn to see if the Bastiladons can stomp on any more of those zombies.
1 damage.
6, probably. In damage.
Oh, and we can't forget, Eli does still have 3 heroes hanging out around the Realm Shaper. It is covered by the score indicator, but there's still two Skink Star Priests, a Skink Priest, and a Slan. All just hanging out in the Slan Shack.
That's true. And unfortunately, our table did get shifted a little bit, so we are a little out of frame, but there is a Slan standing behind the Realm Shaper, not inside. And there are 2 or 3 skinks inside that Realm Shaper.
Mm-hmm.
3, 1 right.
Put them back on first.
Alright.
Damage.
It's fine. 6. And mouse. 2 hits. 1 from the nightmares. That's it. Good to go. Alright. Still remaining in the territory of all they need to do is take up space.
Yep.
They're doing great.
Matt tried to plink some wounds off on that Stegodon, but honestly, just tying it up with those last couple Blood Knights is all he really needs to do.
Alright. The battle shock is going to be. The zombies are not living.
And
You lost 10, I thought. You lost a 6.
like reroll on within range of the engine. That's a 5. 5, 6, 5, 6, 15, and it was 10.
Minus 2 your bravery for being here to get one.
I can't do it. No,
Oh, yeah. Well, that's right.
10. 1 left.
Oh, and in the Battle Shock phase, Eli loses 10 skinks, but there's still 1 left, so the skink unit technically still alive. Almost got him.
Every roll, yep.
Yay, saving on reroll actually being relevant.
End of Soulblight, or end of Seraphon turn 3, going into bottom of 3. Eli, Eli scoring 3 points for.
Goes to 11.
Yeah, scoring 3 points goes to 11 total. As he only controls the one objective, but he did get his battle tactic for conquering said objective.
Skinks in front of him at the time, so I think that's why he kind of got glazed over.
Yeah.
All right.
Matt having a real tough choice on what battle tactic to take here, guys.
So looking for a 2 of 10 a command point on the Necromancer. I will still not get any command points.
That puts you at 0 for the turn, right?
Yep, that I still can't use my roller.
Yeah.
Matt trying to get that command points as his general's dead. He does not, meaning he still has 0 command points for turn 3.
All right. That's an invocation. D3 back here for 3, and D3 back here. Oh, the graveyard do actually owe you that shot.
Healing those summonable units, bringing back a zombie and a couple of Graveguard.
And 3 zombies. They're so tasty. All right. Yep. Who does?
So I'm gonna choose the turn.
Seconds. All right. So, battle tactic, heroic action, invocations, Gravesand Shard alone, handle my unload battalion. Let's do my one spell. Let's see if we can cast that house on 6. That's a 7.
That's a 9.
I'll stop. Okay, no problem. I got one.
Necromancer trying to cast Van Helsing, but Eli.
Van Hells.
Van Hells?
Van Hells.
Oh, I like mine better.
Van Helsing.
Eli also managing to unbind it. So the zombies or the graveyard will not get to fight twice, unfortunately.
Listen, my good sir, do you want to? There you go.
Just trying to take up as much terrain as I can while not taking deadly. Just getting in the way.
Retreating those Blood Knights there just to kind of block that Stegodon from going up there to capture any of those objectives.
That would be a still on there, Steven.
That's a Stegodon.
That's a second. This is still.
Excuse me, Spencer.
You're both right.
Spencer, I've been casting this round for almost 2.5 hours. I know what a Stegodon is.
If you don't, you're going to find out today.
My intense sheet.
Yeah. Zombies back for this.
But you are right, Spencer, doing the same thing with the other Blood Knights on the Distillodon.
Play. And here we go. Matt tries to play keep away.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. I'm hoping it's actually Matt succeeds in playing keep away. It's more like Matt plays screen wheel.
Matt just retreating most of his units just to keep Eli from those back objectives, just to keep racking up the points.
I'm basically going first the rest of the game no matter what.
Yeah, I either give it to him to pull objectives or he takes it to try to murder.
Yep.
That's what's gonna happen.
Oh, you get yeah, that goes through.
I get D3 skins. Take
Decent.
14.
I feel good about the
You know what? You know what?
There he is.
Put the alpha back.
Oh, yeah, check this out. Makes
Oh,
sense. Makes it use that.
Emerald Lifeform bringing back another skink, so the lone skink has a friend, so they can die together.
Hey, he just made that broken ranks twice as hard.
That is true.
That's right.
And that is math.
2 times 1 is 2.
these skinks, Steven, are
Is there a chance he rolls like shit and they somehow live? Yes.
probably not long for this world.
But I thought you said Broken Ranks was twice as hard.
I did, and I was technically correct. That does not mean that it is difficult by any stretch of the imagination.
Do we need to give our players a 25-minute warning, Spencer?
Yeah, we did.
I mean, there's 2 damage. Oh, yeah, there's 3 rolls.
Couldn't spike the seams.
You were right.
Couldn't spike it the one time now.
Not that far.
Alright, Priscilla.
Yep.
I can attack.
Yes, sir.
3s. Oh, 2 0. 3s. Hey, 2 at minus
6s. Darling.
6 damage.
Back pretty good. 6s reroll 1s. There's multiple 1s. I lose 6 graveyard.
Way to go, Priscilla.
1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6.
Oh, we're in the combat phase now. Did I miss out on the Soulblight Gravelord shooting phase?
You did, Steven.
Dang it.
It was phantasmic.
Yeah, I will throw that.
Oh, bro, I understand what you mean now.
So I need a 5 or 6.
That's not how I interpreted that phrase.
I lose another. Yeah, throw a battle shot for 1.
Yes. No, you're fine.
And Steven, I really don't think that the Seraphon can come back from this. The Soulblight are just going to keep pulling objectives out from under and prevent from being able to score there.
They're gonna keep retreating, being speed bumps, making it so the Seraphon monster just can't get on those back objectives.
It really does. That objective is.
Okay. I will also take the easy battle attack though.
Okay?
Broken Ranks.
Yep.
Bottom 3, Eli taking Broken Ranks, which, seeing as there's only 2 Graveguard left, same situation as the Skinks, basically a gimme.
I've got an advantage in range that I should hopefully kill 9 zombies plus whatever he rallies back.
Oh, he is going into the zombies, but considering how he has 2... Oh, true.
Otherwise,
Considering how he has the Engine of the Gods, 2 Bastillodons right there, I think he can kill 9 zombies.
One would hope, but
Although, I have seen Eli roll worse than that, so...
Alright.
the bigger issue is that. Yes, I do have a couple things. So I get 2 command points. You get a command point, or you get 2 command points. So you like to blow your order.
It's not my turn.
Oh, it's only on your turn. Do I get on 4s? I do get 2 more, so I'm at 4. Do I get
wow, Eli's just swimming in the command points there.
I'm at 5 command points. 5 command points is plenty, so I'm going to try to borrow the energy. I'm at 5, that's below river, so. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Gotcha.
So I get my 3 back on my energy cups.
Hey, Matt, are you at 15?
So what?
Are you at 15?
Yes, I've gotten 5 every turn. Just keep it steady.
Before I have it.
Any other start of turns?
No, we're gonna keep Great Drake on hand. I flood. Keep Great Drake on? So you know what? Let's put our concentration back.
Alright.
We'll go ahead and lock concentration.
Okay.
So I'll make up the extra attack with the turn.
Gotcha. Back to +2 cast.
Yeah. Fuck it. I can't get it. This is out.
Yep.
I still have some attempts on for the next switch at the blaster, just in case I didn't kill shit tons of these. And I heard recovery, because I'm about to activate the working ranks of the zombies. You.
Right, well, nice.
Rallying on the Blood Knights again. Let's see if he can bring some back. Brings back 2 Blood Knights. Rolling. See, everyone doesn't believe me, but if you just roll sixes, the game is really easy.
What do I always say the plan is?
Roll sixes,
And
charge.
kill the heroes.
Oh yeah.
If you roll sixes and kill the heroes, you probably win the game. I said probably because sometimes it doesn't fucking happen if it's Soulblight. I killed the heroes. I rolled sixes.
There's
Try to get her at command.
there's still one hero left, Eli.
Third time on a 2+.
You haven't killed all the heroes, Eli. There's still one left.
There's one left.
Yeah, but you
I
gotta
killed the heroes at that necromancer.
you gotta get.
She's 0 for 3.
You know what I care about the necromancer? I'm sure Van Hells. That's what I care about the necromancer.
Are we already at top of turn 4? Are we already at top of turn 4?
Yep.
Wow. Turns are going real quick now.
You missed the transition into 4.
We need to do the whole I likes the ward saves thing.
Yeah. You like the word saves?
I do like the ward saves.
Okay.
There we
I'm
go.
gonna roll save for this ring.
Sure.
Blood Knights. Take 2.
I believe that unit is actually outside.
Bumping around those blood knights on the right, just to act as a speed bump for that Stegodon, so it can't get in the objectives. Making sure to stay within the range of the grave site for that ward.
All right. Fail.
Ooh.
Ooh, Comet's Call, I believe, taking
No, that was the Realm Shaper engine.
Realm
now.
Shaper engine. Wow, taking out the rest of those Graveguard.
That's fine. Got what I want.
Yep.
Now let's see if he can take care of the zombies before
He moves
movement.
before movement.
Sounds like real territory.
There, that's
Ooh.
Hold on. Go.
Ooh, that's four units of the Common Skull.
4 units on the Comet's Call, and correct me if I'm wrong, Spencer, but that is D3 mortal wounds.
Yes.
4 units.
Yes, you pick 4 units on a. You take D3 mortal wounds.
All right, where they go? On her, on the zombies. Her. She takes it with zombies. Take it. All right. So we got one of the zombies, and they're going to get hit again. So it's all simultaneous.
zombies get 1.
All right. Good care. I do. So +2.
And sword knights. Take 1. Good to roll. Good to roll.
They are technically out of coherence. It doesn't matter. The zombies are not out. If you somehow
I was gonna say,
don't
you can't
charge
set
them,
up the blood knights to do out of coherence.
no, the zombies are not out of coherence. How much damage?
I think I rolled 1. No, I rolled 2.
Roll 2. All right. 6s. Use them up. Influence.
Eli just plinking away the last surviving Soulblight units in the hero phase.
Recast this shield. We're gonna funnel through this guy.
All right. I can't stop that.
Nope. Throw that on here. And last but not least, we'll cast. We'll cast Still Tempest.
You can't stop that.
Alright, I'm gonna look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep.
How many does that make, Ryan? 7 that I drop? Looks like 2.
That is the
Stellar Tempest.
Stellar Tempest, yes.
Die for each model. Every 5 up is a mortal wound.
That is fairly good. Doing another 2 mortal wounds to those zombies.
Were you sure about that?
Looks like 5 zombies left. He only needs a couple to keep those monsters from just moving up.
Coherence is not relevant. They're going to either get charged or piled you. It doesn't matter.
And a boy. Fantastic.
This is your last spell. You got one more.
I have 1 more.
Let it go. Come back and roll as well.
But how much is still down? We will throw both our
Eli just buffing up the Engine of the Gods and the Bastiladon with the usual assortment of Seraphon buffs.
The usual suspects.
Heals on a 3? I believe heals on a 3. Someone check.
What is it?
Heal, the bird.
Heal up is
4.
I'm not.
Someone check. I get
Heal has an answer value of 3.
Yep, so you're good to go. So D3 on the soul.
This price is at the same second.
Funeral, something of was.
Checks out.
Fucking curse of necromancy.
And I only remember that because the Lord Relictor has a heal on his War Scroll that is just arguably worse in every way, but it is free.
And then Warrior starts with staff. We are going to Starstone staff. We don't have it.
Ooh, failing on that Starstone staff. That would have been extremely helpful, but
Heal. No. I'm not gonna pop. What's the range of this command ability? What?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that one had a specific range, that's why I asked. Okay. We're gonna spend a command point for Gift of the Heavens. Gift from the Heavens. From the slant to give the Engine of the Gods has fly, most importantly, and he can,
Yeah, last one right now.
+1 save against missile weapons.
Okay.
Super relevant against Soulblight.
The important thing is fly.
Yep.
Eli using Gift from the Heavens on his Engine of the Gods or the Bastiladon?
And I think
Engine.
On the Engine of the Gods, which, most importantly, gives his giant dinosaur fly.
okay. And so I will not. I don't know. I don't know why I would not.
Oh, as well as +1 to save rolls against missile weapons, which is going to be extremely useful against Soulblight.
We do mark some stuff in that section. Max, sure, work my head. Sure.
Yes. However, that's assuming that you can finish it. Capacity?
Eli doing his best to get anything on that back objective just to score that extra point.
So we will go ahead and run charge with Beastmaster instead of every task. Okay. Because I can just get to the other side.
Yep. That's a lot easier. Probably doable.
Flying Stegodon.
Something like very simple difficult. So,
Yep.
should have been able to do. And then range for this one, that's beats.
Yeah. You're still stuck. Base 2 day. It's a valiant effort though.
Yeah, it's more of a shot. I mean, sweet and consider for you.
Yep.
And that is going to be, yeah, that's my purpose. I'm going to get everything that I can. So we'll go ahead and start with your
And there's that Engine of the God moves with fly once again, just trying to get on that objective.
I will redeploy when we finish moving this guy.
Okay. Go ahead and advance there.
And I do need to give our players the 10-minute warning.
Okay.
These are casualties, not models, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything that I have that's fighting you is on the middle line.
Let's say graveyard rolls. How many do you roll for every unit, or do you just roll a unit?
A unit.
Yep.
Brave Overguard, currently rolling zombies if you finish them. I could choose them instead.
Right.
Let's see, this turn. You're moving. Just hold my casualties. Try to get this off the table.
Starface is going to run this one. Actually.
Eli finishing up his movement phase. I do want to point out that at the end of Battle Shock, on a 5-up, 10 of those Graveguard will be just coming back outside of 9. Or within 12 of a grave site, I believe.
All of the above.
Hey. And these two are dismarking.
Okay.
Because
The salon and some of those skink heroes leaving the party house to come outside and touch some grass.
Okay. You're not going to make it within 12, so my cosmic engine roll is just 2d6.
No.
That's 9. That's bolt. We'll go ahead and bolt everything within 12 inches.
Yep, there's a few options.
So, start with the Necromancer. On 12. He did 1.
Put on zombies. Takes it herself. Fails it, so she's up to 2 damage to hit.
Yep.
Zombies.
Zombies on 2. Take 3.
Sixes. Hit them all. That's great. 2 and
And Blood Knights over here. Take 2.
sixes. Zero ones. Take 2.
That's their Beastmaster does give you shoot all around, right? 6 rounds, right? What you say? Meanwhile, we will go ahead and just fusel
Alright.
and try to fusel the Necromancer. D3.
Beastmaster is run and shoot and or charge in the same turn,
Okay.
or +1 attacks.
So 2 rolls.
See where it goes.
Just saying.
So zombies, save it, and Necromancer does not.
That's 3 left.
2 left.
2 left.
Yep.
That's 7 for him, so okay. The Edge of the Gods is going to just. If you're trying to roll spirit attacks, spirit attacks, states on the Necromancer.
Eli's currently doing his shooting phase, just trying to knock some units off the board, get rid of some of those speed bumps so he can get to those objectives.
I actually have to do these like one at a time now because if she just dies, she's done. So 1 or 2 on her. She's okay. She's good. 2 on her. She dies.
Okay. And then
Rest of the damage is on her, so they have to.
well, don't you roll to see if they all, because it's all at the same time, don't you roll to see if they go to the zombies anyway?
She's dead. She doesn't have that goal anymore.
But all their damage is allocated at the same time.
No, wounds are allocated 1 at a time. Or saves are roll once.
But before they're allocated, yeah, go for it.
Yeah. If she's dead, nothing else can go over there. If the wound bucket dies, she can't put any more in.
Yeah. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
The Gravelords are going to blow that because it's the only thing they would do is it's a box.
Yep.
He's falling over.
Trying to get to that objective. He's gotta make it. He's reaching.
He's trying so goddamn hard. Okay. Yeah, this is still on. Yeah. Put a fire at those fucking zombies.
Got it? I'm good.
Yeah. And then
Still on shooting at the last 2 zombies. Matt elects to just pull them off the table.
and we're gonna fire at those units.
Okay.
2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 3 real ones.
So Eli's going to get 3 points there for his battle tactic, 2 for broken ranks, as well as an extra 1 for doing it with a monster.
2 more wounds and 4 minus
2 more wounds. I'm not in range of the thing, so 4 minus 1 is going to be 4 minus 1 plus my 4s. So that's 2 damage plus 2 more wounds. So, alright. One not left, that's 1.
2 damage plus 2 more wounds. You've
Four.
got a 1 mark on it.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. So no worries. I had the other one left. One left. I said 1 mark. I was like, 1 left. No.
Yes, I'm taking it. It's been counting on me.
Yeah, you're right. No,
Yep.
you're absolutely correct.
Oh, yeah.
We will go ahead and go charge. Charge with Priscilla. Or charge with Sagan.
Yep. 6, 6.
Get in there. Good chunk. Let's do Seraphon 300.
Yep.
2 more wounds.
6s, reroll 1, so got the banner. Reroll 1. Go. 1 with trash first. 1 drops.
Okay.
Right?
And then this is still on charge.
Yep.
Fantastic. That's an 8.
Got it. I just stick for you there.
So it looks like charging in with that Bastiladon is going to go ahead and give him another, going to give him
Yeah, that
an objective.
getting an
back.
8 on that charge gets him in on that objective. It is
Alright.
We will feral ward him
Okay.
on a command point. So he's attacking at 4 o'clock.
Sounds good.
And then we will go ahead and attack him.
Okay.
So he's attacking top of the phone.
All right, we just had confirmation from the table that they will be able to talk this out, and we can get you the next score, hopefully here soon.
Do it.
4s. Fail 1. Finish. No, so he's 6. He lost his banner, but he's got a 6. Yes. Alright.
Okay. Your combat limits.
Yep. Let's go ahead and I don't see anything I gain by piling in the distance, so we're gonna go over here. That's about it. And 4 attacks. Let's verify that I can keep myself.
And Eli was able to get into that objective within 3 inches, so he won't be able to teleport or essentially bring back any models on that single objective.
he will not. If he can bring back the 20 zombies, he can probably lock out the other 2 objectives just by positioning them. But Eli will be on that top right objective for that extra point.
That is true.
1,
It's gonna be a close game. A lot hinges on if he's gonna roll that 5 up to bring back a unit.
You're good.
Surprise.
He survives.
Yep.
But I still take damage.
Yep.
Battle shock.
Battle shot, okay?
Here, this is the all-important choice and roll. Let's see if he brings it back.
Yep. Obviously, I lost one. He was still dead.
Yep.
So, 5 up to figure out what you can bring back. I think the answer is probably zombies.
Yeah, you need bodies.
And Matt does get a unit back,
zombies coming back.
which is probably going to be the zombies. Which, if like I said, if he positions these well, he could lock out those other 2 objectives.
I can't get on it, so we'll still take it.
Oh, okay, that's good. So I still get 5 meetings.
Yes.
No.
4.
No, because then I have a whole more.
Hold 1, hold 2.
You're gonna get all the other objectives.
I still.
Yeah, you want both. No.
So Eli will get 4 points at the end
Yep,
of
that'll
this
take
game.
him up to 15. They're tied at 15 going into the bottom of 4. But that 20 block of zombies is...
No, because he's one blood now.
That guy's running like that.
He's stupid.
I have exactly 1 blood knight to run that. So, that blood knight surviving is actually worth it. So there's 11 more zombies over here, but
Yeah.
that position isn't particularly great.
No.
We're definitely getting into, let's just talk through the rest of this thing.
Yeah, no, that's, we need 1 more.
I have-
It's your bottom 4 and we have 1 more.
I haven't done conquer yet. They run.
You got it.
Yep.
Players just talking it out right now. We'll get you the final score as quickly as we can.
He runs away.
He books it.
Liam?
They actually do have to pile the distillate on the shooting my last blood knight. He's gonna come this fight.
Yep.
And he is the leading champion, so we'll see if I can rally some and just make it hard for you to.
Question right now is, do you get your graveyard back? And a battle shock.
Yes, and the battle shock, do I get my graveyard back? I guess I find out.
Yep.
I do pile it, right, like I said. You kill.
No, we don't have to roll to see how many.
Yeah. This is the number you kill us with.
Yeah.
You're in combat, I'm gonna do one.
This is, you have 20 zombies, right?
Yep.
That's it, you have 20 zombies, max damage when you lose 9, so
Exactly.
it's not enough to take the objective.
That's why I'm over time.
Yeah. So it's,
Can I get another unit of graveyard? Yes.
In, yep,
That is not.
10 Graveguard, 20 zombies coming back on the board are pretty difficult to deal with, especially with objectives dropping off.
Yeah, so that was the roll at the end of this battle shock phase. So going into round 5, Matt would have another 10 Graveguard. This is the priority roll.
I take it.
I slam over to see if I win that back.
I don't.
Doesn't matter.
So I take it.
Matt wins the priority roll.
I summon unique you to die if I'm not attacked.
Yep.
Alright.
Which, funny enough, I don't know if I actually killed 10 graveyard.
Yeah, it's the only one.
It's the only one you got, but
And I try to, just because I
Thirty
can't.
five is my stats.
That's the one chance when I have to rally my blood knights and bring back 3 more. So 4 more blood knights in the corner
Yeah.
here.
And that'll turn off the Grand Strat.
You know how many blood knights you really back this game, Matt?
Two,
Fucking 7!
2, 3.
2, 2, and 3.
2, 2, and 3, yes.
Yeah, 7 blood knights.
Great.
That's a lot of knights.
Yeah, but I did lose my.
Switch it over to what?
My general,
Switch it over to us.
like, okay.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us. That's going to be it for this particular instance of Decrumpen Pit.
What was our final score going to be, Spencer?
I almost don't care if you get the command point. I don't want you to get the unit. What's up?
Yeah, so it looks like Matt's going to go ahead and take it. We don't have quite the final score, but we do have a pretty good inclination that Matt will have that, no problem.
Matt is going to be up by at least 2.
At least 2. Yes, they're very, very true. So, thank you all very much for joining. We will reset, re-rack, get ready to go here in about half an hour.
Yep.
We will be sure to push all that information out to the Twitter, to Twitch, and to Discord if you are on there. If you have any questions, comments, constructive criticism, please feel free to reach out to the Weird Knobs either through Twitter or on the Discord.
Yes, please let us know. And like I said, we will be back around 6ish. We are going to fuel up our next competitors, which is Iron Jaws versus Giants. Sorry, Sons of Behemoth. And we will return.
That is true. So thank you all very much, everyone. It was great seeing you, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.